Washington, D.C., the capital of the US, is home to some of the most visited tourist attractions in the United States. From the White House to the Capitol building, the endless museums, and of course the memorials, Washington, D.C. is the perfect destination for the ultimate history enthusiast. We visited here in summer of 2024, and here are some things I wish I knew before visiting. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be telling you some things that I wish I knew before traveling to Washington, D.C. Me and my mum came here in the summer of 2024, and honestly, we had a really good time, and I would definitely recommend going back. There are certain things in this list that I found out before I went through research that I found that I think would be really useful, and there's also things that I didn't really know until I was there. So just to save you guys going through the same things that we went through, I feel like I can tell you and then you can be more prepared. Number one, there is a lot of homeless people in Washington. Now, it makes sense when you think about it because it is a very government heavy area. It's a very political place. When you want the systems to change, when you need help through the systems, where are you gonna go? You're gonna go to Washington, D.C. It makes sense. However, I was not expecting as much homelessness as we saw. It was probably close to Seattle level, and if you've watched my Seattle vlog or read any of my Seattle review on my blogs, it was a little bit insane. Washington was the only place of our whole 7-stop trip where we actually got stopped by a lovely homeless man who did ask if we, had any money that we could give. However, I will say that, we wasn't lying. Like, we honestly didn't have cash. I don't carry cash with me anyway unless I have to. He was perfectly fine, perfectly respectable. It wasn't an issue. But right off the bat, walking through these areas, it definitely could put you off. This is literally normal for every city. Like, you're always gonna find homeless people. It is a really sad situation, of course. It took me by surprise a little bit. When we were choosing where to stay, we wanted to stay by the White House. What we didn't realize was the White House was actually a 40-minute walk from everything else. So even though we thought we were gonna be pretty central, we really wasn't. And I think this is where the main hub of the homeless was as well, just because it was so much more like further out from all the memorials and everything else. It was a little bit more unregulated, whereas if you went to, say, the Abraham Lincoln Memorial, the Thomas Jefferson one, things like that, it was a lot more guarded and protected, and you just wasn't allowed like to be around that area if you were homeless, if you know what I mean. Like, there wasn't any streets that you could go around because it was a very like integrated area. Whereas other than the immediate grounds of the White House, which obviously is like gated off, the areas around it are public, and that did seem to be like a hub for the homeless. But yeah, it wasn't a problem. It was just me and my mum traveling. We felt perfectly safe at all times. And to be fair, had we done a little bit more research, we probably would have realized this ourselves, just because right next to our hotel, maybe like just on the next street, there was like a shelter, there was a donation center, there was a like food place. So yeah, common sense would say that obviously it was gonna attract a lot of people. Just didn't realize that at the time. So just something to be mindful of. If you are going, I'd probably recommend staying a little bit more closer into town than we did, and not stay at the White House and then just go and visit the White House while you're there. Because honestly, we really didn't gain anything from staying so close to the White House. The second one. Now, when I say this as a person that visited in August. So, peak summertime. You often think of Washington as a place for history, as a place of culture, probably not for the heat. Oh my God, I have never sweat so much as I did in Washington. Me and my mum, TMI again, sorry, we were soaked. Soaked. I feel like it was just, our body was just adapting to the heat. Like, we've come from the UK, we went straight to Toronto, and that was semi-warm, and then we went to Washington, and I've just never experienced heat from it. And this is coming from someone that was in Vegas and didn't sweat, was in Nashville and didn't sweat, have been on the beach in Greece in 40 degrees and didn't sweat and love it. Like, it was crazy. It was so hot, but it was so humid as well. The good thing is I felt like I acclimatized in Washington, and then by the time Vegas and Nashville came, I was like, 40 degrees, what is that? Like, that is nothing. But yeah, it gets really, really hot. So just make sure that if you are traveling in summer, especially if you're like me and you're gonna go out in the morning and the first thing you're gonna have is a coffee that's obviously gonna like dehydrate you, drink plenty of water and take water with you. A lot of the monuments that you can visit are all open like 24/7. They're all like public. You're not going for any like scanners or metal detectors or like airport scanners or anything like that. So you can take water with you. So just take a big bottle of water with you, refill it. Don't be stingy with American prices. Rebuy water if you need to. And yeah, just stay hydrated. The next one, the monuments are actually open 24 hours a day and they're free to visit. So don't feel like you have to go in the daytime, in the middle of the day when it's going to be so busy. You can go in the evenings. Obviously, if you were there to take pictures and stuff, it might be better for you to go in the daytime. But just like us, we only had 2 days in Washington, I think. So we did a theater tour with a guide that took us round. So obviously we were that big group of people in the tour, standing in the middle of this like monument, getting in everyone's way. It was really busy. Obviously when you come to Washington, this is what you go and see. So there's a lot of people, it does get busy, it does get crowded. If that is not a bit of you, you can go in the evenings. And also if you've got that like peak summer weather, the evenings or early mornings for like sunrise might actually work better as well. Seeing the monuments lit up under the night sky as well is honestly beautiful. If you do go, even if you've gone in the day on a tour, I would really recommend going back in the evening and seeing them all lit up. We didn't do this, and the day we moved on, I think we went to Nashville after. The day we moved on, I just had like, I was on like Washington DC TikTok, and oh my god, I regretted not going in the evening so bad. The food in Washington, some of the best food I've had on our whole America trip. And when I tell you we ate so much food on that whole trip, the one thing that stood out to me the most of Washington was the food, and I just really didn't expect it. We ate some of the best food in Washington, and considering we went to like Michelin star restaurants in Vegas, celebrity chef restaurants, oh my god, this food I could not stop thinking about, to the point where it's March now and we went in August last year and I'm still talking about it. I was on a little bit of like a turkey sandwich craving while I was there. Like, that was all I wanted, and I feel like in 2 days I ate like 4 or 5 turkey sandwiches.
If there's one thing Americans know how to do so well, make a sandwich. This is what I expect from now on when I ask for a sandwich.
So when you want a chicken sandwich at home and you get like
2 slices.
No, I might give you 3 and I fold them so that they look fancy. And I do a good sandwich, but not.
This is what I expect from now on.
So good, so good. We went to the Cheesecake Factory, which we've gone to quite a few times, like different places over America. Amazing. We went to Nick's in Georgetown as well. They did a really good turkey sandwich. And then we went to, I think it was Founding Farmers Fisheries and Bakers or something like that. I had this like, I can't even remember what it was, but it was like a stew with this like char grilled bread on the side. I'll insert like a video. It literally tasted like my Greek, my European mother-in-law cooked it for me and was in her kitchen all day slaving away cooking. It was just so fresh and so delicious, and I expect like good seafood from a harbour in Europe, or we knew we were getting seafood in San Fran by the pier or something like that. In Washington, in landlocked booked Washington in the middle of nowhere. You're telling me I had some of the freshest, most delicious food? Insane. So good. I'm gonna do a whole blog post on food to try and to eat in Washington, so if you want to see that, it will either be up now or will be up shortly on Georgialouisetravels.blog if you want to go and read that. But yeah, the food was seriously good. I did not have a single bad meal the whole time we was in Washington. The National Mall is 2 miles long. To get around the whole thing, like all of the monuments by yourself, our guide told us that this was around an 8-mile trip. So if you are gonna walk it, we did it on a tour and it was fun. It was really, really fun. Our guide was amazing. If you are gonna do it yourself, take comfortable shoes and take a refillable water bottle. Like I said, it gets really hot, you need to be hydrated, but don't underestimate the sheer distance of the whole mall and how long it will take you to get around. It's still perfectly doable. You could do it all in a day, you could do it all over a couple days. But yeah, don't underestimate it. I feel like when you look at it on a map, it doesn't look too big. And even if you're looking from one end to another and you're thinking 2 miles, you're like, 2 miles in a whole day? Easy, I can do that. But no, it's basically an 8-mile round trip. When getting around Washington, there is essentially like a grid system. So similar to New York, but a little bit more confusing. So I've made a note, so if I'm looking this way, it's because I'm reading it off of my map book. But there's essentially a grid system where the lettered streets go from east to west. So K Street being the most popular. And then your numbered streets are going north. What is this? And then your numbered streets are going north to south. Once you've got your head around this concept, there is really, really minimal need for like Google Maps, and it's actually pretty easy to get around. Our first day we were there, we did use maps and we're sort of like relying on that to get us from A to B. However, as soon as we realised, we looked at our hotel street and looked at the letter and looked at the number, and then pretty soon we realised that it was like a grid system, and we ended up walking like up and was like, yep, our road is on this letter, and then turned, walked up, and then got to the number that it was at as well. So yeah, once you realise this, it's pretty easy. But if you don't know it, you might be like us and you'll have your head so like invested in your phone looking at the map that you won't actually realise that chances are you could probably do it yourself. The airport in Washington, so Dulles, I still to this day don't know how you say it. It is connected to the city, so you can just take the Silver Line train. That is the Silver Line train, and it takes about an hour and it will take you directly into the city. This is what we did, and it was honestly so easy, so convenient, pretty reliable as well, really easy to use. It was at the very end of the line, so any train that came into the airport was going that way, so you basically couldn't go wrong, which, you know, for us, we love. Really easy. Within an hour you're like in the city centre, so really worth it and really affordable as well. Most museums around the National Mall are free. However, a ticket will more than likely still be required for you to get in, because they do this so that you have a reserved time entry. So we visited the Smithsonian Air and Space Museum, and then we also visited the National Archives, and although both of these were free, we were still required to book a ticket so that we would have like a reserved time slot. This is just so, you know, they do get really popular, they do get really busy, just so they can sort of maintain like a maximum amount of people inside so it doesn't get uncomfortable or anything or too crowded. And I will say that when we went to the National Archives, we had like VIP treatment. Like we got there at, I don't know, it was after our tour, so it was like late afternoon, early evening. And when we walked in, every single staff member was chatting to us and saying hello to us, because we were the only people in there. And it was actually really funny. Like I said to my mum, I was like, are we in the right place? Like we literally come in to see the Bill of Rights and the Constitution, like the biggest things, some of the biggest things Washington has to offer. and yet we've essentially got it all to ourselves in this like VIP treatment, and it was just really funny. But yeah, you will probably be required to get tickets, so don't just look at the museum and go, oh yeah, it's free, don't need a ticket, nothing to do. You will still be required to get a ticket. However, it's free, so it's fine. And last but not least, something I really recommend when going to Washington is visiting Georgetown. It was beautiful. I loved it so much. We actually went there on our tour, and then we went back independently as well. Beautiful, lovely restaurants, lovely shops. They have some really random shops I wasn't expecting. Like, they had a Skims shop, like a big corner Skims shop. But yeah, the shopping was great. The food, obviously Washington food, was really good. Cafes, restaurants, bars, anything you could imagine, they had. When we went there, obviously we went in the daytime, and we was able to get the train there really, really quick, really, really convenient. And it was about a 10-15 minute walk from the train station into Georgetown, like at the waterfront. However, at night, you'll probably more than likely need an Uber for your journey home, just because of that walk. The walk felt pretty safe. Maybe there's alternative routes, I don't know. But for us, it took us through like this country park, under like a flyover bridge for cars. Yeah, it's not somewhere that I would probably enjoy walking at night when it was dark. But yeah, we just booked an Uber, went to the pickup point, and then we was back in our hotel in about 10 minutes. So really, really convenient, really easy. So that is everything that I wish I knew before traveling to Washington DC. If you can think of any more, then let me know in the comments below. If you're going to Washington as well, I hope you have a really good time. And yeah, I have a Instagram and TikTok if you guys want to see it, if you want to follow it. It's just Georgia Louise Travels. I'm also going to post this up on my blog page, just because sometimes I feel like when I'm waffling, I just miss out on like key things, and then I've waffled for 10 minutes and forgot like the main points. So I'm going to upload this onto my blog page as well. If you want to go view that, it's just Georgialoisetravels.blog, and I've got loads of posts on there. Hotel reviews, airline reviews, places that we've gone, things we've done. So yeah, check that out if you want to as well. And yeah, I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys.